And now we want to simplify this trigonometric expression. We have sine square x, then inside the bracket we have secant square x plus cosecant square x. Alright, so you want to simplify this and rewrite it in another form using trigonometric functions. Great. But first of all, you need to know what we talk about secant square x. Alright, I believe you're familiar with the sine and the cosine. So the secant here is the same thing as, okay, let me just put it down as for you, secant, alright, of x. So we just put it down as sec x. But in this case, we've squared it. Now, this secant is actually from the cosine function. When you have cosine x, 1 over cosine x is secant of x. This cosecant is gotten from 1 over sine of x. That is the cosecant of x, like that. So we'll be using these nice identities that since cosecant of x is 1 over sine x and secant of x is 1 over cosine x, now you've gotten the square of this, right? So if we square both sides, that is cosecant square x, this is going to be the square of 1 over sine x. And if you square this over here, secant of square x, this is going to be 1 over cosine x, then you square that. So in place of this and this, I'm going to substitute these two for you guys, right? Great. So here we're going to have sine square x, then inside the bracket, in place of secant square x, I'm going to put down 1 over cosine x and I square it. So this is 1 over cosine of square x. You know that when we square this, 1 square is just 1, then cosine square x is just cosine square x, right? So there is no point putting the square on top again. So we add it with this cosecant square x is the same thing as 1 over sine of square x. Great. So when we go ahead and multiply everything, here we are going to have tangent square x. Now, this is actually an identity. Sine of x divided by cosine of x is tangent of x. So if you square this and you square that, you're going to square the result. That is, tangent x is the same thing as sine of x over the cosine of x. So if I'm squaring this, right, I'm going to have to square the top and the bottom like that. So that is so. When we multiply this with that, we are going to have sine square x over the cosine of square x. And then we also multiply this with that. We're going to have plus sine square x times 1 over sine square x. This is just going to be 1. Great. So we know that sine square x over cosine square x is the same thing as tangent of squared x. So we just put it down there. Tangent of squared x. Great. Now, tangent of squared x plus 1 is in fact the same as secant square x. That is just from identities. When we have tangent, you square it and you add 1 to it. This is the same thing as this. So maybe if we were to end, maybe we can end here, or we can even end here. Let's see, can we write this in another form? This is sine over cosine, and then this 1 over 1. Well, there are a couple of ways of writing this, but this is a nice place to just end. Alright, thanks for watching.